Mike, I think overall the defense has been pretty disciplined, but you had 2 unsportsmanlike penalties on that drive that they got the field goal at the end. Is that just an area where you've got to clean up, and how do you, I guess, coach being disciplined in those moments and being smarter?
Yeah. Those are definitely unfortunate we did that. Definitely moments that we wish we didn't happen. From my perspective, if we do our job on the play never gets over there and it never happens. So when you talk about discipline in that aspect, the ball should have never got to the sideline. And we would have never been hitting the guy on the sideline had we done our job in the first place. So that's more of the message on that one. Obviously, anytime you get around the quarterback toward the sideline, you can't do that. And then on the second one, we got to wrap up and make a real football play. I don't think it was egregious. I don't think it was a terrible hit. I think if we wrap our arms around the quarterback like we're going to make a tackle, we wind up in a better spot. So I think technically and things that we do, we need to be better, and those don't happen.
CJ Nunley obviously made a ton of sacks in the MAC the last 2 years. Is that kind of what you thought you would see from him, just the ability to get to the quarterback there and take him down?
Yeah, it was great to see. And I just, he's a guy who plays with a high motor when he's out there. And for him to get those sacks at the end, playing with incredible effort, I think is good for the rest of his teammates to see. That's what's going to get the job done, is effort, not fancy, whatever you want to call it.
Do you talk to Josh Henson a little bit more this week as far as the chess match of how this is going to unfold?
Yeah. He's familiar with some of their personnel. That's about it. You do what you can. You learn what you can. And he's been here for a while, and I think the most thing he's familiar with is probably their personnel.
What about things like he's familiar with coaching personnel too, like tendencies that might come up there too? But I
yeah,
suppose you guys
we've had
scout that
conversations.
pretty heavily too.
We've had conversations.
Just your impressions of their quarterback and how he relates to what you've seen the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, I know him pretty well. He was with us at one point. He's a great kid, and he's a great competitor, great athlete, great leader. I got to see it firsthand when I was out there in Las Vegas with him. So I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's a great player. I think he runs their system incredibly well. I know him as a leader. I know what the guys in the locker room think about him, just because I've been around it. So, I think Jaden's a really good football player. I was impressed with him from the first time being around him. So, we got a challenge ahead of us, and we're going to do everything we can.
And an extension of that, they've got a couple of receivers, Lane and Lemon.
Incredibly talented.
Yeah. What stands out about them?
One's got a huge catch radius. He's tall, long. He can get up and go get the ball in the red zone, and they want to target him there. And then number 6, he can make plays. He's fast. He can run every route there is. They can line him up inside. They can line him up outside. He can do it all. They got real playmakers, and then you throw in the tight ends and everything into the mix too. Running backs, they got playmakers everywhere. So we're going to be ready.
Mike Berry said you really didn't make any adjustments after the first quarter last week. Guys just started communicating better and doing their jobs. Is that your view of it as well? You really got things tightened up after that quarter?
Yeah. It's communication. It's discipline, communication, playing together, and also executing. And it's on all of us. It's on coaches, players, everybody, that we can't have a slow start like that in those terms. But, we didn't – it's not like we reinvented the wheel after the first quarter. We played together. We communicated. We were disciplined. We got lined up. And we were able to execute what we wanted to execute.
Were you more pleased with the tackling Saturday as opposed to the opener?
Yeah, it was better. It was better. There's still work to be done. There's still leverage issues and getting off blocks on the perimeter we got to work on. But yes, in terms of tackling, we were better.
What will you be looking for from your defense Saturday?
We have to communicate. We have to get lined up. We have to go play fast. They're a talented football team, but we got to go stand right in their face and be able to play.
A measuring stick for your defense?
Yeah, but I think every game's a measuring stick, to be completely honest with you. Every day, every single day we go on the field is a measuring stick. You could have took a measuring stick out there last week and probably would have had some issues with our communication. So you go to the game, the same thing's going to happen. So we need to use every single day as a measuring stick for our defense. And so, yeah, Saturday's no different.
I know you don't want that type of start you guys had on Saturday, but is that important to have just to continue to gel the defense and know that you guys can rebound?
I did think it was great the way we were able to snap back. We were able to make a couple adjustments and play the game the way it was supposed to be played. The best thing is that I guess if you want to learn from it, we stood in the eye of getting scored on 2 times in a row like it was nothing, and bounced back, and we're able to rebound. We didn't fold. We didn't cower. We didn't do anything. We didn't start turning on each other. Then get in a fight. Nothing. Nobody was on the sideline and like, oh, it's over, anything. Like, they just stood in there. We talked to them. We told them what was going to happen, what we were going to do, and everybody was confident, went out there and did it. So it's good to see that we have that type of fight in us, that type of resolve in us. So, yeah, that was good.
Smiley made a couple big plays. Can you just talk about his role in the defense and just kind of what you've seen from him?
Yeah, well, as guys get opportunities and they show what they can do, though, and they do the right thing, their role will grow. And I think he's a perfect example of that. I think week 1, he did some good things, and so he got a bigger role. And then you saw him out there making plays in the game on Saturday. There's still a lot more he can do, but he's definitely grown in his role, and his role will continue to grow as long as he keeps doing what he's supposed to do.
Okay. Do you have a prototype of what you want at nose guard in this defense? Does it need to be the biggest guy possible? Would you like a smaller guy that can do leverage things?
I like big people. Put it that way. We've always looked at defense as what are our tools, and let's go use the tools we have. If you can get a big 350-pound guy that can move a little bit, that's good. I like big people.
Well, you have one. Did you recognize when you came in that Jamarian could be, I guess, what were your initial thoughts just watching him either in first workouts or on film or whatever, and what he could be in this defense?
It took, you got to see everybody go through everything, and, big guys going through workouts, you don't really see what everything you could possibly see until they put some pads on and we start getting on the field, and you can see when they put their hands on people what's possible. So I guess, you start to see it then. But that's a position, that's an effort position. And once you learn that and take pride in making the center's life not fun, and that's your job, then you got something. So I think we're on our way.
Crew Wakely has really brought kind of a physical tone to each of these last 2 games. Any thought that needs to be in the game earlier, or do you like what he is as a secondary guy, well, not secondary position, but second string guy coming in?
Yeah, I like what we do. I believe in what we do. Like I say, every day is an evaluation. He's done great in the game. He's done great communicating, and that's got to be, every single day, and that's everybody on our defense. He's a big part of our defense. He plays a huge role in exactly what he does and exactly where he is. His role will continue to grow, and we got to stay healthy, but his role will grow.
Barry said after the game Saturday, fortunately and unfortunately, he was a linebacker and you were a linebacker, so maybe you view the linebackers a little bit differently. Is that something that you find yourself doing through the evaluation process, through recruiting, that you're maybe looking at those guys through a different scope?
You know, I'd say I have a lot of pride in the way the room plays and the way the room looks. You know, beyond that, it's, you know, and then that's what it is, you know. So whether it's recruiting, whatever, I mean, my name's on it. I used to play the position. I know the head coach used to play the position. Got a lot of pride in it. So anything that has all those names, it better look good. So that's really the emphasis on it. But, you know, I started being a coach as a linebackers coach, and that's never left me. So even though I call the plays now, I'm the linebackers coach that calls the plays. Yeah. Hope that answers your question.
Anything else for Coach Scherer? How would you evaluate what Charles did Saturday?
You know, I'm proud of how Charles has grown. You know, he knows and we know that there's still a long way to go. But he has gotten better every single day. And he is a kid that you can point at and say he does the right things every single day, and he practices the game the way it's supposed to be practiced and does things the right way. So we will continue to grow his skill set and his playmaking ability. But you see it grow, you know, we'll see it grow game by game and day by day because of his work ethic. So I'm proud of what he's done up to this point. He would sit in here and tell you that we got a long way to go, and it's a work in progress. But I'm proud of what he's done. He's been the vocal leader out there in the box. You know, he's really he's communicated well. He's helped people in there calm down and be in the right position. So he has to continue to help do that, but also continue to make plays.